Can you all hear me okay? I don't know that this is on.
Test 1, 2. Nope.
Hello? Hello? No? All right. I'm just going to shout. Okay. This is me shouting. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes.
Mr. President, I move we approve the minutes of November 15th as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for the approval of those minutes. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Accounts payable vouchers.
Mr. President, I'd like to recommend the claims from November 17th, 2021 through December 6th, 2021 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Payroll.
Mr. President, I would also like to recommend the payroll dated November 24th, 2021 be approved without exception.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That also passes. Highway. Stu, you're up.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item on our list is the award of the gasoline and diesel fuel bid. Successful bidder was Newton Oil Company. This will be for the 2022 gas and fuel, basically for the pumps at the county and at the Sheriff's Department.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the bid from Newton Oil Company as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Second item is the award of a, I turned it on. At least, yeah, okay. The award of bid for tandem axle dump trucks. These will be 5 new trucks. The successful bidder was M&K Trucking. These will be Mack trucks. The total for 5 trucks is $1,283,279.75.
Mr. President, I would move that we award the trucks as outlined by Stu.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you. The next item on our list is the design contract for Phase 1 of the Concord Road construction. It is with Beam Longest and Neff, LLC, for engineering services and right-of-way services in the amount of $525,400.
And this is coming from TIF funds, correct?
TIF funds. Yes.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the contract with BLN as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you. Our final item is a contract with VS Engineering for design services for the rehabilitation deck replacement of Bridge 119, Davis Ferry Bridge. The contract is in the amount of $611,650 on a roughly $8 million project to let in 2025. This is an STBG Group 4, meaning basically it's a federally funded through the state. It's not coming through our MPO, and it's 80-20 money. So we'd be responsible for 20% of that, $600,000.
Mr. President, I move for approval of the VS Engineering contract for Bridge 119, the Davis Ferry Bridge.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, Area Plan Commission. Mr. Hiddle. Good morning.
Good morning. David Hiddle with the Area Plan Commission with one item before you. I don't think that this requires a vote. It's really here more just to open it up for discussion and just state it publicly. But Mike Wolf, the building commissioner, brought this up recently, and we thought we'd bring it to your attention. And it's something that I realized was a little bit of a struggle anyway, but we have been handling the Area Plan Commission for quite some time, and nobody knows really what the genesis of this arrangement was, but we handle building permits for the incorporated towns of Battleground, Clarksville, and Dayton, rather than the Building Commission. And it's proven to be a little bit more cumbersome and requires more time, and leads to more confusion than you'd like, and there's really no apparent upside to it. It's just a couple dozen per year, and they come to us, and then it's just sort of another wrinkle in the system. What we'd like to do is just have all of the building permits go through the Building Commission, and then Mike does a very good job if there's an occasion where he needs a zoning ruling or some advice on reading it more in depth into the ordinance, he'll come to us and ask the question, and it works very well that way. So what we'd like to do, and I did talk with Eric Burns about this, and he said that the zoning ordinance allows us to do this without anything having to go for vote or to the cities themselves for a vote or anything legal and formal, is just use my ability as the administrative officer for the county to designate a designee to handle the permits, which is what the zoning ordinance allows. And then that designee would be the Building Commission. So I think it would be fruitful for everybody, for developers, for homeowners who are filing permits. It'll decrease the permit processing time, especially in view of the fact that we have this new software permitting system. It would lower confusion for Mike and his staff and just make everything a little bit more smooth and predictable. So again, I don't think this is here for a vote unless there's some concerns about it. The plan is, if you all are comfortable with it, then we're going to go to the cities and make sure any questions or concerns they might have are alleviated, and then put it into effect, ideally January 1st, although we can push that back if there are some concerns from the cities, the towns.
The towns.
Yeah, the towns, yeah.
So that would immediately affect Dayton, Battleground, and Clarksville.
Those three.
Those three, yes. Okay. I think it's a great idea. I like you mentioned, I have no idea why we've done it differently all these years.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the building permits are the ones doing the inspections. Even though you're offering the permits for Battleground, doesn't the building permits also do the inspections then?
Yeah, they're coming to us and our review is limited to site plan review. We're looking at setbacks and making sure they meet the zoning ordinance, but Mike and his folks are perfectly capable of that. So, like I said, if there's something that's unusual, they'll come to us, but that doesn't happen very often, but, it works well.
I'll agree with Tom. I think it's long overdue, heading in the right direction. So.
it's another example of why it's good to have a fresh set of eyes look at things.
Well,
So,
okay.
Yeah, so,
We're getting another one in 2 months?
yeah.
So I guess it's
Sorry.
out there in the universe, and now if anybody is concerned, they can let us know. Like I said, we're hoping to put this in place January 1st. If there is concern from the cities, we may push it back a little bit to alleviate those. But yeah, our next step is to let the cities know.
Okay.
The towns.
So I would say, by consensus, you have our support to move
Yes,
forward. So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. All right. Bond renewals. We have 3 of them. This is an annual. Do you want to go through real quickly what?
I actually don't remember what you have.
Oh,
Is it
okay.
the clerk,
All right. So we have
treasurer, or
from the
sheriff?
treasurer, the clerk, and the sheriff.
So, yeah, the people who handle money need to be bonded. And so that's all you're doing is complying with that statutory requirement.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the bonds of one Jennifer Marie Weston as treasurer, one Julie Roush as clerk, and one Mr. Robert Goldsmith as our sheriff, as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve those 3 bonds. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, that passes. All right. For the prosecutor, Pat Harrington could not be here today. He asked me to present this. This is a professional services agreement. It's an agreement with Catherine Red, who runs the Project Safe Neighborhood Program. This is a contract we do every year, and as a contract employee, her compensation is $65,000. I'll entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right. The next item is an ARPA engagement letter with Barnes and Thornburg. This is to help us with putting our plan together for spending the ARPA funds, basically certifying, reviewing all the projects to make sure they're compliant with the legislation, and then also doing the narrative for each project that's required if and when we get audited on those funds. It's at a rate of $5,000 per month, depending on how many months it takes for us to put our plan together.
But payable out of those funds.
Exactly, payable from the ARPA funds.
Okay, Mr. President, I move that we approve this engagement letter with Barnes and Thornburg as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Next, we have the November disbursement request from GM Development. This is for the joint projects with community corrections and the administrative building at the Sheriff's Department. This is just to pay for what has been completed so far in the month of November.
Mr. President, I move for approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Creation of new position within the Health Department. Amanda, you're up.
Hi, guys. So this is another full-time DIS position. So we already have one full-time DIS and one
DIS.
disease intervention specialist.
Thank you.
So we have a full and a part-time, and we need to move the division to 2 full-time, 1 part-time. We have 2 different grants that fund this. That we have our STD prevention grant, which we've had for many years, and then we have a new STD prevention supplement grant. That is money that the federal government sent to the state because the state of Indiana's STD rates were sky high, so they sent them extra funding. That funding's coming down to us. We then will pay for that out of that supplemental funding and then wrote it into our 22-23 grant for STD prevention. So that grant going forward would be for 2 full-time and 1 part-time.
And that is a renewable grant.
Correct. It's renewed every year. Yeah,
Okay.
it runs April 1st through March 31st.
And just like we always say, you're aware that if the grant funding ceases, that position won't be funded. Okay. And then what type of position is this? What category?
Pat 2.
Pat 2. Thank you. And what is the title? Just DIS?
Disease
DIS.
intervention specialist level 1.
Okay.
DIS for short.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the creation of this new position or the addition of this new position to the Health Department as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Thank you. Boy, she was quick to exit. Okay, the maintenance contracts for exterior of TCOB 629 and the courthouse are going to be moved into the next meeting so that they can be completed. The next item on the agenda is the medical director contract for the villa. And did Deanna make it? No, she did not. So we have a same provider but a different consulting company doing the work as medical director for the agreement. So this is an agreement with Thomas Lee Consulting LLC for a compensation rate of $12,000 per year paid monthly at $1,000 a month to provide medical director services at that facility.
Mr. President, I move that we approve this medical director contract presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Sorry, I'm checking to see who. All right, youth services. Rebecca, good morning.
Morning.
Okay, look at her. Thank you very much. Two contracts today, looking forward to 2022. One is with, actually, I'm covering for Judge Graham. She has a court hearing, so the first one is with Superior Court 3 and Dr. Askoff for the psychological evaluations, continuation, and then the second is our substance abuse assessments with Buck Black.
Mr. President, I would move that we approve the contract with Dr. James Askoff for Superior Court 3.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I do have a quick question in regard to the rate on that. It didn't seem like the agreement had a rate.
It's a continuation, and so we just bumped up the rate back in the early fall from $600 to $2,000 because he was woefully underpaid. So it should be continuation of that rate.
Okay, it is, but it is acceptable that it's not mentioned in here.
Yeah, it's just an addendum that references everything that's gone before, and so
Perfect.
I think it just changes the dates.
Okay, all right. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Thank you.
Second
Second
one.
one, yeah. Yeah.
So the second one is just the continuation grant with Buck Black for substance abuse assessments.
And I would move for approval of the agreement with Buck Black Mental Health Services at $350 per case, not to exceed a total of $7,000 per year.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, Extension Office.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm here seeking signatures for our annual extension contract with Purdue.
Okay.
I know that you have questions.
Yeah, we do. So we've had some questions in regard to the service we've received while you've been short-staffed.
Right.
So I think what might be best is if we put this off to the next meeting and try to schedule something with Jason Henderson.
Okay.
So I appreciate if you could help me arrange to get that set up.
Yep, I will gladly do that for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Grants. Good morning.
So I'm asking permission to accept the grant for the youth services from the Department of Corrections. The discretionary grant is an extended period until June 30th of 2022, and the additional amount of $25,000. The grant award has already been assigned by the auditor on 11/18 as far as the electronic signature, since it was just an extension, but I need to bring it to your attention.
Mr. President, I move that we accept the grant for youth services as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion passes.
Thank you. And also, the Circuit Court received a grant from Indiana Office of Court Services for the purpose of the 2022 Veterans Treatment Court Grant and the amount of $17,964 to continue the program through December 31st of 2022. And Jennifer's here if you have any questions about it.
I have a whole list of questions.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the grant from Office of Court Services for our Veterans Treatment Court.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
And you did see that I crossed off that bottom. Thank you very much.
Okay. We have one change order from the fairgrounds. Is that about done?
We're getting darn close. We have a change order with Inslee Systems. This was to add 2 safety rails up around the roof hatches, also to add some traffic pads around there and do some gutter work, clean up, touch up stuff. The total amount is $18,084. I move that we approve this change order.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right. We're going to have an update on the Big Four Trail. Jessica? Good morning.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Nix. I'm a landscape architect and project manager for the Big Four Trail Master Plan. I work with Butler, Fairman, and Seifert, and I'm going to be presenting the information from the final report of the master plan. BF&S partnered with Health by Design, and their firm helps communities promote active living throughout the states. And our design team was hired by West Lafayette, and we received support from Tippecanoe County as well as Lafayette. All 3 entities took part in the design process. Our recommendation today is to have the plan approved by the county commissioners. Next, I'll walk you through background information on how this project was initiated, then specific information about the report itself, and the benefits we expect to see after this trail is constructed. Okay, the overarching vision for this plan is to eventually connect Greater Lafayette to Indianapolis via the Big Four Regional Trail. This route was identified by DNR through their Indiana Visionary Trails map. That map outlines feasible trail routes throughout Indiana that will create a statewide network of trails. The Big Four is still in early stages of becoming a cohesive regional rail trail. Our hope is for it to be comparable to the Monon Trail and the Cardinal Greenway. Several communities such as Zionsville, Whitestown, Lebanon, Thorntown, and Colfax have collectively constructed over 30 miles of this trail route. As of now, there are 0 segments of trail constructed for the Big Four route in Tippecanoe.
So, I'm sorry if I can interrupt. So what are the dotted lines compared to the solid lines on that map?
The dotted lines, that's future. That is not constructed trail, but that is the proposed route that the future trail will eventually follow along. Essentially, it is the abandoned railroad corridor that you'll see extending into southeast Tippecanoe.
So the solid is completed?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Thanks for that question. Okay, so the area of scope for this study is within the limits of Tippecanoe County. The finalized route will utilize the Big Four Rail Corridor, which is an abandoned railroad route that is found in the southeast area of the county. Existing trails, as well as existing trails to complete the route connections as the route travels through the cities heading north. The total length of this trail is 35.4 miles. That includes 26.9 miles of new trail and utilizing 8.5 miles of existing trail or future planned or future constructed trails. Although the information and trail routes in this report have been identified and well researched, it's not set in stone. This report is a living document. In the years to come, the landscape of this community could change, and with that, this report should be reevaluated to determine which routes should be utilized in order to accomplish the original goal. Because of the trail's length, and the advisory committee and our design team divided it into design segments. By dividing the trail, it makes the design and construction more manageable and more attainable when applying for funding. So some of the benefits that we see after the plan is adopted and the segments of the trail are constructed over time. They're especially for a trail that spans over a large region and connects major cities throughout the state. For decades, we've built communities around our cars. Now we're seeing a trend shifting that focus back on the individual, and trails are a great way to shift that focus. Trails increase the opportunity for people to get outside and use it for exercise, leisure, and commute. Health and environmental improvements are a positive outcome for this type of infrastructure. Over the past few decades, people are becoming more conscious of the environment and their personal health and want to do their part in keeping their community healthy. And there are many economic benefits and improvement opportunities that come from trail construction. Trails are viewed as tourist attractions, As you know, being in Indiana, we don't have oceans or mountains or things that people like to come and consider tourist attractions, so we have to kind of get creative and create our own. This also increases property values. In recent years, trails are a popular attribute to a neighborhood. And also it attracts new businesses, shops, and restaurants into the area. We're anticipating on witnessing these benefits in the years to come after the trail is built. In conclusion, the primary use of this plan is to use it for applying for funding sources that support the design and construction of trails. And this plan is the first step in the construction process. And the goal of this plan is to be approved as a trail plan for the county. And at this point, I'm happy to answer any questions.
So Jessica, I understand from the earlier slide, so it's a paved trail that is in place right now from basically Colfax to Lebanon.
Correct. So, the existing, I can go back a few slides. So yes, there's currently only existing trail in Clinton County, Boone County, and those are the only two. There's a little bit of trail in Marion County, but it's not a cohesive network yet. And there's no trail that follows along the DNR's Indiana Visionary Trails map in Tippecanoe County that follows along the Big Four route.
In the, as this has been discussed over the past few years, there's been significant issues with title, especially in our county. Have those issues been worked out?
Not at this point. We're still in
Okay.
phase 1A of design. So this is just the plan, the master plan itself is primary use is to go after different funding sources to begin that process. And during the design phases, that's when title research and understanding who are the property owners. We have a general idea, and that was through the county's GIS system. But as we know, some of that information may not be accurate as of today, but it gave us a general idea. So no, that information hasn't been researched as of yet.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
So the action that what you were asking from us today is that we accept and endorse this plan moving forward, knowing that this is just a launch point again for future funding opportunities.
Correct.
Okay. I would move then that we accept and endorse the plan as presented.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. Thank you. All right, reports on file. We have a report from the county treasurer, from the low-cost spay and neuter clinic, the building commission, and weights and measures. And those will be on file in the commissioner's office. Is there any unfinished or new business? Okay, what about public comment?
Hi again.
Hello.
I'm just introducing our new agriculture and natural resources educator, Dr. Pat Williams. He joined us last week, December 1st. Would you like to say anything?
I'm recovering from dental work this morning, so the Novocaine is still slurring a little bit, but I'm glad to be here in Tippecanoe, and I'm anxious to get work.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Is there any other public comment? All right.
Move to adjourn.
We're adjourned. Thank you.